They just opened up a new store here. It's a little controversial, and you can see the crowd just waiting. And it's a pop-up shop, and it's called PornHub. So it was just in some international papers, nothing local. This is it, 70 Worcester Street. Neighbors are not so happy with it, obviously. But it's in a very nice area of Soho. I'm sure even though they're planning on keeping it until December, I don't think it's going to last until December. I think the city is going to shut them down. Even though they got their approvals, as I said, I think the city will shut them down. Let's take a different view of everything. Here are some people who don't expect this, but you're hearing it here first. It's not going to last long. This is a short-term event on their part. Now, if you look at it, it's not like a pop-up shop. Pop-up shops usually don't do this much work on the interior. So my guess is they're doing all this work knowing that it's going to be a short-term thing, knowing that someone's going to come in eventually and shut them down. But you can see the people coming here because they heard of all the news. Now we'll take a look at the other part of the building that this PornHub is in. And it's a beautiful building when you look at it. You know, you would almost say, what's the reasoning for having this shop there? You know, obviously it's going to create problems. Obviously it's a very nice neighborhood. So what the logic be for having the shop there? I would say one, they're probably paying a lot of money to whoever is allowing them to rent. And then two, they know they're going to generate a lot of publicity. Like you could just see, you know, all the people lined up here. And this is not even for buying anything. This is just to see what's going on. And of course, they don't want overcrowding inside. That's why people are being let in as people leave. And as I said earlier, it is a beautiful neighborhood. So my question would be, like, what was the reasoning for having this shop here? Obviously, they couldn't have it in other areas of the city. I think that would have created a dilemma. So if you have it in the best area of the city, or one of the best, like Soho, then you won't run into as many problems as if you have it in Midtown, where it brings back the memories from 30 and 40 years ago, the way New York used to be. Now, again, this is unusual for a website like PornHub to have a physical location. Usually these kinds of operations do not have physical locations. Now, Moschino, a top brand in the world, is right next to the store. Now imagine how upset they are. What a beautiful store this is, and to have to worry about your reputation because it's right next to a store like that, that's going to be very interesting. So that's why I think like Moschino, the other name brands are going to protest that store. You'll see. I'm sure it's in the works already. It was only a few days ago that it was announced that the store was going to be here. So we'll see. Another view of this beautiful store, Moschino, and see the kind of brands that it offers. Here we have some more of the great products. I'm sure they are not happy. I'm sure they are really not happy. But that's life, right? You just have to go through life and protest where you can. And here is another great brand, Simone Rocha. You know, right across the street from the store that just opened up, PornHub. So this is again an example of someone not being happy of what's going on. These are the great buildings here. You can see everything. People waiting. It's just beautiful designers. And there we have another store, Celine, again, right across the street. It's going to be a big problem. So now here is like another view of the neighborhood that we were just in. And we'll look down the street as we turn to the north. And that is the north. You can see all the beautiful buildings that are here. Isn't this a beautiful neighborhood? You can tell a lot of money was put into this neighborhood. And there, for example, we have the other store, Celine. Again, you can tell they're not happy. They have all this investment, long-term investment, and then someone comes along and does a pop-up shop. That is not good. Not good at all. This is a little bit more of the neighborhood. It's amazing seeing this and seeing all the beautiful buildings. So we're exactly at the intersection of Broome and Worcester. This is just to give everyone a better view of what the neighborhood is like and what's going on locally. Because I'm sure there's many other people in New York who have other things to do than to see what's going on with the store, and other people in the US and the world that are curious but just really don't have the time to want to see what's going on. And again, this is 1/2 block south of the store.
It's not the same.
Now, this was just a short time after we were filming just before, and you could see the line had grown, or has grown. It's really nothing new. I think it's just the hype of a store like this having opened and people wanting to say to other people that, yeah, they were there. But as I said, they might as well go and see it now while it's still open, because I can imagine people are not happy with this store being here. And it's really only the international publications that are bringing this up a lot. Like the US publications and the New York publications are not a big fan of reporting on this yet. But you wait. Once they have their answer, the city's response, then the local papers will report. Just to show you how they really picked a wrong spot for the store, the Chanel store is right at Spring and Worcester. And here you have the Crocs store at Spring and Worcester also. It's like an interesting location for all these beautiful stores. And look at the architecture of these different buildings too. Just amazing seeing the architecture here. This is why, in my opinion, it's like the absolute worst location for the pop-up shop called the PornHub.